Good evening, everybody. It's 7 o'clock on Monday, January 5th, 2026, and we'll call this meeting of the Sault Ste. Marie City Commission to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Gary.
Here.
Commissioner Bauer.
Here.
Commissioner Bospas-Rath.
Here.
Commissioner Talentino.
Here.
Commissioner Habusta.
Here.
Commissioner Marble.
Here.
Commissioner Rubenstein.
Commissioner Rubenstein did tell us he would not be able to make this evening's meetings. We'd need a motion to excuse.
So moved. Support.
Motion and support. All in favor of excusing Commissioner Rubenstein, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? He is excused. If everybody could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Happy New Year, everybody. We had a fantastic New Year's Eve celebration downtown, and wanted to extend our thanks to City DDA, CVB, and Sailor Creek Contracting, who actually donated the equipment and time to lower the anchor, and I think it was a good time had by all. It was great to see all the kids downtown and enjoying the 8 o'clock drop, and also the people that were there for the midnight drop. And does not go without noting that it takes a lot of work on behalf of the city as far as barricades, and I saw a lot of police and fire downtown, and a lot of departments and engineering, I think, has a hand in it as well, and DPW, so thank you to everybody that works hard to pull off one of those great events. Also, the city had put out a nice Facebook post about snow plowing, and it got 1.2 thousand plus likes. I think was one of the most probably accoladed posts, and just want to reiterate what a great job they're doing. I think at time of posting we had 80 some inches, and we've actually gone up to over 94 inches of snow in the city of Sault Ste. Marie, and we have 26 inches on the ground according to the National Weather Service this morning. So there haven't been many days that we didn't have snow activity, so it's been very difficult to work on any of the snowbanks yet. They've been doing a great job at getting the roads cleared, so kudos to all involved with the city for that, and thank you very much for your service. So we'll move into item B, which is proclamations and recognitions. Turn it over to Acting City Manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item is introduction of a new firefighter paramedic, and I'm going to turn it over to Fire Chief Ed Miller.
Thank you. Oh, just lost
Good
my
evening,
voice.
Chief.
It'll be really quick tonight. I think I'm losing my voice. But have the pleasure of introducing Maribel Batista Pablo, our newest firefighter paramedic. A little bit about Maribel is she's a Lake State future grad. She's still in school, one more semester to go. So she'll be finishing up her degree at Lake State. She was an EMS intern at Life EMS in Grand Rapids and did her fire internship with us over this past summer. So we got to know her very well during that time, and we encouraged her to apply a little bit. No strong arming, but we encouraged her to apply, and we are happy to hire her for the replacement of Lieutenant Jerry Schenectady. Maribel's from the Grand Rapids area. She's currently still in the Michigan National Guard, so she does serve our country too, as well as serving our citizens, and we just wanted to welcome her and introduce her to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So go ahead. Hit your time. Yeah, hit your picture. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief, and welcome to the city of Sault Ste. Marie, and thank you for your service. And good to see the support of the department, so thanks very much.
No strong arm in there.
So we'll move on into item C, which is notice of public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any, reserve any time to make any comments on any of our scheduled agenda items? We do have a few public hearings, so you don't have to schedule time for that, but on any of the other items. Thanks, Linda. Anybody else? Seeing none. We'll move into item D, consent agenda. Deputy City Clerk Erica Gordon.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
reading my agenda.
Number 1 on the consent agenda is the approval of City Commission meeting minutes of December 15th, 2025. Item 2, acceptance of the Sault Ste. Marie Housing Commission meeting minutes of November 20th, 2025. Item 3, acceptance of the Tax Assessment Board of Review meeting minutes of December 9th and December 12th, 2025. Item 4, reappointment of Brian Petro to the Airport Advisory Board. Item 5, confirmation of mayoral appointment of Karen Powell to the Downtown Development Authority Board. Item 6, adoption of proposed modifications to employee handbook. Item 7, consideration of post-service invoice related to 2009 fire pumper repair. Item 8, consideration of Smart Zone lease agreement and Superior Forensic Engineering LLC. Item 9 is approval of consent agenda items.
Thank you very much, Deputy Clerk Gordon. Does anybody have any questions on any of the consent agenda items or would like any of them removed for individual consideration? Commissioner Habusa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Two questions. First, I guess the first one's a comment in regards to the Smart Loan Lease Agreement. I appreciate the fact, I know we're about 4 days into the agreement when we're signing it, but I appreciate the fact how close we've gotten in that, and I appreciate the work that Deputy City Manager Troyer has gotten in pushing those much closer. I know she's going to do a great job on getting those even before that lease starts, so I appreciate that. And then I did have a question in regards to item number 5, and this is appointment to the DDA board. One of the just a process question. I believe, Mr. Mayor, you mentioned in a previous meeting that you would interview everybody who applied. And I just wanted to know if that had happened, if with Karen and with any others that might have applied, and that you went through that process.
I did reach out and talk to Karen, and I did have a conversation with her employer, too, to make sure it would fit within the needs of their organization, so.
Thank you. And I guess the other question would be the other side of that. Were there any other applicants that you also had the opportunity to sit down with and chat with?
I did not sit down with any other applicants, no,
Okay.
so,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Bauer?
So moved, we pass tonight's consent agenda.
Support. Motion and support. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Moving on into item E, which is special orders of business. Number 1, Acting City Manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item under special orders of business is public hearing and consideration of a request from Scott Bazinski to vacate with retention of utility easements the full width of east-west alley within Block 1, Halls Addition. Action would be to hold the public hearing and then take action on the item. Community Development Director Kelly Freeman is going to present on this.
Good evening,
Good evening,
Mayor and
Kelly.
City Commission. This is a request for an alley vacation. You can see in the aerial. Mr. Badensky owns the properties outlined in blue, which are on the north and south side of the alley. As it sits, the alley is unimproved. There are some power lines in a portion of it, but Mr. Badensky would like to have his two properties considered as one. Right now, because that alley's there, it's two pieces, they're not contiguous. Having it contiguous allows a house on one side of the alley to permit a garage or other accessory structure to be built on the other. So his request is to vacate the alley with retention utility easements. There's no objections from any of the utility providers nor any of the surrounding property owners, and the Planning Commission considered this request at their December 4th meeting and recommended unanimously that it be approved.
Thank you very much, Kelly. So at this time, we will hold a public hearing for consideration of the request from Scott Budensky to vacate with the retention of utility easements, the full width of east-west alley within Block 1, Halls Addition. So is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments? Again, it's a public hearing on a vacation request. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing and go to City Commission. Any questions for Kelly or for Mr. Budensky? Mr. Habusta, would you like to make the motion?
Thank you. I motion to adopt and include a resolution vacating the full width of the portion of the east-west alley within Block 1, Halls Addition, lying east of the east line of Oak Street with the retention of utility easements.
Support?
Motion and support. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Moving into E, special orders of business. This is second reading of an ordinance amending section 10-1.1704, parking requirements of the city's zoning ordinance. And Kelly did a good overview of it at our last meeting, and all the information is included in the packet, and there have been no public comments, and there are no changes to the draft that we received at the last meeting. So we will go into we have to have a public hearing on this one, correct? Or no? No?
No.
Okay. So any questions for Kelly? Seeing none, Commissioner Marble, would you like to make the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion to adopt the included ordinance amending section 10-1.1704 parking requirements of the city zoning ordinance.
Support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Moving on into E, special orders of business. Number 3, again, the second reading of an ordinance amending section 10-1.1703, section 5, accessory buildings of the city's zoning ordinance. Mr. Freeman did a good explanation of it at our last meeting, and we had no public comments, and there are absolutely no changes from the information that we received at the last meeting. So does anybody have any questions or comments on this one? Commissioner Bospas-Rath.
Thank you, Mayor. Motion to adopt the included ordinance amending section 10-1.1703, 5 of the city's zoning ordinance, increasing the maximum accessory building height from 15 feet to 20 feet.
Support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much, Kelly. So we'll move on into E, special orders of business. Number 4, Acting City Manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. As public hearing on the proposed brownfield plan for the West Portage Avenue Hotels project. After interim EDC Director Radke gives her presentation, I'd recommend holding the public hearing and then taking action on the item.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tonight, for the brownfield request, the action required is to hold the required public hearing and adopt the brownfield redevelopment plan and approve the resolution. So previous action taken, the City Commission approved the public hearing on holding the public hearing today on December 15th, and the public notice to all taxing jurisdictions have been completed per state law. As a reminder and project overview, this is for the redevelopment of 435, 437, and 447 West Portage Avenue. It's a 2-phase, 202-room hotel project with 120 room Fairfield Inn and an 82-room Home 2 Suites. Estimated at approximately $30 million of a private investment. The brownfield plan purpose is to reimburse eligible redevelopment costs, environmental assessments, demolition, abatement, site prep, and private infrastructure, and to utilize the tax increment financing to support the redevelopment that would not occur without these incentives. The state participation will come following tonight's approval. The plan will be submitted to the Michigan Strategic Fund Board, and the MSF allows for capture in state education and school operating taxes. The state's participation is anticipated to cover approximately 40.67% of these eligible costs, reducing the local capture. Previous actions taken on November 11th, 2025, the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority Board unanimously approved the Brownfield Plan. And the next day, on November 12th, 2025, the Downtown Development Authority unanimously approved the required interlocal agreement. Fiscal impacts to the city. Currently, the annual taxes are $26,992, and the city receives $10,816 of that. As a reminder, that will stay the same. The initial annual brownfield capture when development starts will increase that to $433,000. And then by completion of the project, the estimated final annual taxes in year 15 will increase to $870,000, which is a $350,000 capture for the city. The capture will be reduced for 12 years, which will be part of another request that I have tonight, if approved for commercial redevelopment abatement. And the total reimbursement for this project is $3.9 million through 2039. The city shares approximately 41% of $1.61 million of that request, and the rest will be from other tax units. Outcome enables redevelopment in the central business district and advances the city master plan and EDC strategic plan goals. And then just one other topic, the developer, Patrick Formia, is here and is planning on coming up to introduce himself, as well as his consultant, Mac McClellan. So if you guys have any further questions on this, we're happy to answer those.
Thank you very much, Nikki. So with that, we will move into public hearing. So we'll open a public hearing for the purpose of receiving any comments and testimony concerning the proposed adoption of the Brownfield redevelopment plan for the West Portage Street Avenue Hotel project as presented. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments during this public hearing? State your name, please, for the record.
Hi, I'm Linda Hoth with the Sioux Convention and Visitors Bureau. And I just have to say, I've worked with Patrick 13 years now, so he's been a part of the community, a very important part for us. The Hampton Inn, Mid-City, he owns Willoughby's. He's always been a part, he's on our board even, because he wants to know what's happening up here. So Patrick has been a great community member and has been a great part, and I think it's wonderful for Portage Avenue. I said it'll give more people walking both ways. I think it'll make that end more viable down there with more things happening. So I'm behind him 110%. So thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to make any comments? Sure. Evening, Patrick.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. I just wanted to say I've been a part of the community here for 13 years. We purchased the Hampton Inn back in March of 2013 and done a lot of improvements and worked with the city since. It's been a wonderful community. Everybody we work with has been phenomenal. I've sat on the board with Linda for several years now, and just want to see the downtown area just blossom, and we feel like this project will help that happen. And we really could use all your support. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. Anybody else in the audience that would like to make any comments at this time? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing and open it up to the City Commission. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Famia or for Mac or Nikki? Commissioner Talentino, would you like to make a motion?
Sure, Your Honor. I make a motion to adopt the included resolution of this Brownfield redevelopment plan in concurrence with the recommendation from the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority for the West Portage Avenue Street Hotel project located in the described premises detailed in this specific plan, excuse me.
Support.
So motion and support, any other discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously, thank you. So E, special orders of business, number 5.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 5 is public hearing on a proposed establishment of a commercial rehabilitation district. Again, there would be a public hearing on this and action on the item as presented, and interim EDC Director Nikki Radke is going to present.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
So same thing as last time, prior action, the city commission unanimously approved setting the public hearing on December 15th, 2025 for today. The applicant is 435 West Portage LLC, an entity of Northern Hotels Group. They operate more than 12 hotels in Michigan, including the Hampton Inn in Sault Ste. Marie, and an award-winning hotel, or Hampton Inn in St. Ignace. The site is the former Carl's Cuisine property and adjacent parcels located in the central business district and adjacent to the Sioux Locks. High visibility, high impact tourism, and in the downtown location. We talked about the project overview in the last time, or in the last item, and the district purpose is to allow areas with obsolete or underutilized commercial properties to replace non-functional structure with modern high-value development. Establishing the CRD does not approve a tax abatement, but it enables the applicant to apply for a commercial rehabilitation exemption certificate at a later date. The economic development benefits supports downtown revitalization in the city's primary visitor arrival area, expands tourism capacity near the Sioux Locks, leverages significant private investment, creates approximately 40 full-time jobs, and supports downtown businesses, restaurants, and attractions. There's no immediate fiscal impact from establishing the CRD, and the fiscal impact will occur only if the future exemption is approved. So the next steps is to establish the CRD for a future abatement request, and a separate public hearing for commercial facilities exemption is anticipated for the January 19th meeting, and more will be requested at tonight's meeting. And the outcome positions the city to evaluate future redevelopment incentives and advances long-term redevelopment and tourism goals without committing to tax abatements at this stage. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much. So we'll move into the public hearing. So this is a public hearing for the purpose of receiving comments and testimony concerning the proposed adoption of a commercial redevelopment district for 435, 437, and 447 West Portage Avenue and associated parcels. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments at this point in time? Again, it's a public hearing over the proposed adoption of a commercial redevelopment district. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and move to the city commission. Commissioners, any questions, comments? Commissioner Habusta.
Thank you. Just a question for administration, and not so much about this specific issue, but CRDs in general. Is there benefit in becoming a more redevelopment-ready community by developing CRDs? In this case, we had a developer, and now we're coming to a CRD. Is there benefit in identifying potential CRDs ahead of time to create more redevelopment opportunities?
Let Nikki come up and answer that one.
So this process is very similar to the Oprah process that also requires a district to be established. In the past, the city has established the entire downtown as an Oprah district. In this case, because it does extend the project an extra 2 weeks because of the period of this, but it would come at a cost, as all the letters are required to be sent to property owners certified mail.
Thank you. I guess my question is more, looking ahead in the future. Is there an opportunity for us as a community be more redevelopment ready by identifying, in other words, we've identified the downtown as an Oprah district, even though we don't have specific projects in every downtown area. Is there an opportunity for us to be more redevelopment ready by developing CRDs ahead of time?
Yeah, I certainly don't think that it would harm the city in any means.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Any other questions? Commissioner Bauer, would you like to make a motion?
Certainly. I move that we adopt the included resolution of this Commercial Redevelopment Act District.
Support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on into item F, which is communications. I'll turn it over to Acting City Manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration of a resolution determining that the Dial-A-Ride facility located at 401 I-75 Business Spur has met its 40-year useful life, and Executive Director Joe Nolan from Community Action is here to present on this request.
Good evening, Joe.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. Joe Nolan, Director of Community Action. Background, Community Action has been operating Dial-A-Ride, as you guys know, for 51 years now. Something I've been working on with Ms. Troyer here and previous city manager, city engineering department, as well as doing something with that building. So we wrote that grant a year and a half ago to get that engineer study done, which you guys have a copy of. It's about $35,000 study, and to deem what to do with that building. And it turns out bringing it up, the whole building up to where it needs is quite expensive, over $10 million, where just to start over and do something adequate for what Dial-A-Ride needs, which is in that building, would be about 7.5. That's not super important here, but that's just the highlight points of that study, just to save you those 75 pages of reading. But what we're here for is to get moving. There are grant opportunities right now for that building. The builds grants come out. There's no FOs being published. What's still holding on to it, though, is there's that federal interest. 35 years ago, federal money was pumped into that building, and their guidance, CFR, is that it is still 40 years until its useful life, and then you can do whatever you want with it after that. You're at year 35. February of 2031 would be year 30. Deeming it right now in this resolution that it's met its useful life, and trust me, it has. I don't know if you've been to the Dial-A-Ride building at any point. I mean, it has quite a while ago. It's definitely ready for that step, in my opinion. I think a lot of people just walking in there would agree. But yeah, so it's ready for that. And then what we'll do is we'll take this resolution, we'll work with MDOT, and they're going to craft together a letter to get FTA to sign off, release, say we have no interest in that building anymore. City, do whatever you need to with it. And then from there, I continue to work with Robin and the city engineering department to find a new grant to get a nice new building for. Doesn't even have, it could be more in Dial-A-Ride at that point. Right now, it can only be Dial-A-Ride because that federal lien, but you could even get more than there. It could be other departments as well. So you have opportunity by starting this process right now with this resolution, if that makes sense. So.
Anybody have any questions for Joe? Thank you for all your work on that. I know that's been a subject for a long time, and it needs some work.
Yeah. Thank you.
So who would like to make this motion? Commissioner Marvel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thanks again, Joe. Moving on into G, which is business items. Number 1, Acting City Manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1 is consideration of a public hearing for a commercial facilities exemption certificate. Interim EDC Director Nikki Radke is going to present on this.
This is the last time you guys get to see me tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah, just wait till next week. So action requested today is to set a request to set a public hearing for consideration of a commercial facilities exemption certificate on January 19th, 2026, and to authorize execution of the resolution acknowledging receipt and consideration of that application. The application was received today by 435 West Portage LLC, and the property is located within the commercial redevelopment district just approved. So this exemption request is for 50% property tax abatement on new improvements only, and for a 12-year term. The existing taxable value remains fully taxed. The purpose of this item is a procedural step to meet the statutory public hearing requirements, and no approval or denial of the exemption at this time. There's no immediate fiscal impact by setting this public hearing, and a detailed fiscal impact analysis will be provided prior to City Commission action on the 19th. So this is the final and last abatement-related request associated with this project.
Thank you very much, Nikki. Anybody have any questions for her on this request? Again, it looks like there's two separate motions. One to establish a public hearing for the proposed commercial facilities exemption certificate for West Portage Avenue on January 19th, 2026, our next meeting. And then the second one is to sign the resolution for consideration of application for commercial facilities exemption certificate for West Portage Avenue. So, Commissioner Bosphus Rath, would you like to make the motions?
Thank you, Mayor. Motion to establish a public hearing for the proposed commercial facilities exemption certificate for West Portage Avenue on January 19th, 2026.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Bosphus Rath.
Motion to sign the resolution for consideration of application for the commercial facilities exemption certificate for West Portage Avenue.
Support.
Motion and support. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion also passed unanimously. Under G, business items, number 2, Acting City Manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Ratification of City Commission action from November 3rd, 2025, developer agreement for Cloverland Regional Training Facility. This matter's been before the commission a few times, and bringing it back to ratify the action that was taken on November 3rd. After administrative and legal review, some of the terms of the agreement has changed, so I wanted to get it back in front of the commission to reaffirm those actions. So just key point, this is carving out the purchase of the 4 parcels up at the Air Industrial Park at a cost of $10,000 per parcel, totaling $40,000. Cloverland, as part of that process, would acquire the Parks and Rec building that is located on one of those parcels. For 24 months, we can utilize the building at no cost to the city. We did work with the developer to carve out the Parks building. However, Cloverland has advised that the facility must be included on the parcel for their development. In the development agreement for the 4 parcels, they must commence within 24 months of the execution of the agreement. Otherwise, the property would revert back to the city. And items that were previously discussed by the City Commission that are not being considered at this time is the Smart Zone building located at 2345 Meridian Street. Had conversations with the EDA, and it was determined if the city were to sell that, we would be required to pay back the grant of $1.325 million, and which could negatively impact the city's ability for future grant funding due to unmet grant restrictions. So I'm not recommending at the time that the commission take action on that, but if it's something the commission wishes to discuss, they would need to weigh those consequences against selling the Smart Zone building at this time. The other item is 401 Hershey Street, which is the home of our police department. It is a leased facility with Cloverland. We are reviewing the current lease agreement options. So that is kind of still in limbo. Options for the future of the police department, if that is going to be their forever home, is we could negotiate with Cloverland for the purchase of the currently leased building, or we could look at options to relocate or construct a new police department building, or possibility of joining, the Dial-A-Ride building if we can get those grant restrictions removed from that. But that all of these are funding implications that will need to be evaluated regardless of whatever option is selected. It's also worth noting that the relocation of the Parks and Rec building, or the sale of that building, will need to relocate the Parks and Rec department, and that will also need support and funding to do so. So again, I'm just bringing this back before the commission if they wish to move forward with carving out the sale of the 4 parcels for the Cloverland Regional Training Facility redevelopment, and asking for a motion to authorize myself to execute the developer agreement with Cloverland Electric.
Thank you, Acting City Manager. And also here tonight is Josh Billington from SMG Development, who helped Cloverland write some of the information. So any questions for Acting City Manager? Commissioner Habusta.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's no secret that I voted a nay vote previously on this item. One of the concerns I had was I hadn't gone before the TIFA 3 board. I understand that this has been presented to the DC board, which represents that authority, the TIFA 3 authority. So I can appreciate that, but I am concerned about the cost of this building and the Parks and Rec building, the fiscal cost of not being able to have that building. If we move our Parks and Rec department, say, into the city garage, then now we're transporting all our equipment up there, and clearly there's a cost associated with that, whether that's new trailers, whether that's the additional gas costs, things like that. I think this is a wonderful project. I am concerned, though, we are not recouping the cost of a building and my computer's really slow right now, but I believe $400,000 cost for that building, and I am concerned that we are not recouping that cost for that building. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Anybody else have any comments? I think as Commissioner Habusta said, there are some unknowns at this time, and I think acting city manager did a great job at pointing them out. We've been trying to market these properties for probably a decade, and this is a great proposed project that Cloverland's put forward. It will benefit not only this area, but training in general. And Cloverland is a taxable entity, so this will be the first time those parcels have ever been taxed. And so it also brings jobs and training to the area. So any other questions or comments? Anybody care to make a motion to reaffirm, to authorize the acting city manager to execute the developer agreement with Cloverland Electric Cooperative? Commissioner Bauer? Okay.
So moved, we authorize the acting city manager to execute the development agreement with Cloverland Electric Cooperative.
Support.
Motion and support. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
So motion passed with one dissent. H, city manager announcements and updates. Acting city manager.
The only announcement I have that's not on the agenda is I did talk to the public service director about the opening of Susio Recreation Area. We are working to get that open this weekend. A couple things that they're working on is getting access into the base of the hill for ambulance, and with the amount of snow we have, and trying to get that opened up. And then obviously grouping the tubing runs. So we are making an effort to get the hill opened up by the weekend. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. So now we'll move into item I, which is matters presented by the public. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments at this time? Sure. If you'd please state your name for the record.
For the record, hi, I'm Jill Rambo. I wasn't, it's just over and over that we're here to talk about somewhat of the same issue. Don, even supposedly that we did it wrong and you were supposed to be the one appointed, and even though I agree to disagree on that matter, the DDA board had all the applicants present and they would all speak and they would all be considered at that time before they made a nomination. So the fact that you just chose somebody out of the pile without speaking to anyone else is interesting to me. For a fact that I know that one of those applicants has a business degree from an international college ranked above Harvard. And that person wasn't spoke to. That person has much more experience in the business world than the applicant that you gave. And she may be a lovely person. I don't know her or her credentials. I'm just speaking on the credentials of the person that I know put an application in. And so you chose you to do this job. Do a better job, Don. We're drowning. We want a board that we can get behind, that's going to be willing to work and do projects and do things. And we don't have any faith in what you're doing when you say you didn't speak to any one of your applicants, not any of them. How are we supposed to get behind you and the job you're doing? You know, you knew 2 months ago, they told you that the board did not collect $20,000 for music in the park. Has anybody talked about that yet on the board? Like, and is the person that you've just put on the board going to be able to get her feet wet and know how to go do that job and assist the other board members on getting that debt collected? Or so we can have a music in the park next year? Like, I mean, because that $20,000 deficit, how are we going to have music in the park this year? It's just, as a business owner struggling with all things, that this has gone on and is still going on when we have not had resolutions to the facts and things that have gone on yet is disheartening. And that's what I have to say.
Thanks for your comments. Anybody else in the audience that would like to make any comments? Seeing none, we'll move into item J, which is matters presented by the City Commission. Commissioners. Seeing none, we'll move on into closing the meeting. Commissioner Bauer.
Your Honor, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Support.